All right, welcome back. It's Niners Nightly. We're down here on Radio Row. Larry Krueger with you on the Sports Leader. We have run into Dave Softy Mahler, the man on the screen right now. The Seahawks and the Patriots go on Sunday, Super Bowl 60. First of all, what do you think of our weather down here? What are you thinking of the city? What are you thinking of Media Radio Row?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think the weather's fantastic. The food is fantastic. I think the setup that you guys have here is absurd. This is the most ludicrous, absurd setup I have ever seen in my life at a Super Bowl. We're up here on Radio Row. Fan Fest is up here. The NFL Shop is up here. But all the stuff's happening in San Jose, right? Seahawks Hotel, Patriots Hotel, which if you're one of these schmucks from some radio station that is not covering the teams in the game, you can just pop a squat here. But for us and the Seattle media and the Boston media, we're sitting in traffic 4 hours a day, going back and forth from San Francisco to San Jose. So what idiot planned this thing? Why don't we just pick the whole freaking thing up, put it all in the South Bay, do it all down there, and be done with it? I mean, you guys are the people that are so concerned about the environment and emissions and things like that, yet you've created a scenario where thousands of people are unnecessarily sitting in their cars on the freeway for 10 hours a day, pumping chemicals into the atmosphere to get from San Francisco to San Jose. You guys make no sense. This setup is the most absurd, ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life, and I can't wait to win the game on Sunday and get the hell out of here.
That's a good review. A good solid review from Dave Softy Mahler. All right. As far as who's in charge, it was all I can tell you. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. But the Niners do play 50 miles south, and it is a kind of a source of discontent for a lot of people in Marin, in the North Bay, in the city, who are like, you know what? They shouldn't be down there in the first place. I'm more of a Switzerland on this because there's no room in our city anymore to really have a stadium footprint. And we're really talking about 10 dates a year. I'm fine going to Santa Clara. I drive far all the time. I don't care. Let's get into the game because that's what people care about. At least that's what I care about.
It's your show.
Exactly. It's my show, damn it. Let's talk about the game. I mean, how do you see it? Do you see this? I know you were very confident against the Niners. You had a reason to be. You were more nervous against the Rams, and you had reason to be there. So you see, I would say you know your team. What do you expect on Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a great game. I'm getting a little bit concerned about how cocky some people are getting back in Seattle about this game. Oh, we got him. And it's like, did you guys not notice this is a 4.5-point spread and not a 14.5-point spread? I mean, people are acting like this is Giants-Ravens, right, from 25 years ago, or Chargers-Niners. You're one of the guys here old enough to actually remember that game, unlike these kids that you work with at KNBR. So you know what that's all about when you blow somebody out. I'm not expecting that at all. I think Mike Vrabel's too good a coach. I think the Patriots' offensive line, what they do schematically with that sixth offensive lineman, is too good. Josh McDaniels is too good a play caller to have this thing turn into a rout. I'd be very surprised, Larry, if this is a 43-8 win like it was over Denver 12 years ago in New York City. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to be a fourth quarter battle. I'm concerned, obviously, about Drake May as a runner. And what he can do to extend plays. I think first down for the Seahawks, it sounds like a cliche, I get that, is going to be a big deal. To me, if I'm Mike McDonald, I got to win first down. I got to force these guys into 2nd and 8, 2nd and long, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, and force the kid to throw. What I don't want to see is things break down on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and let this guy scramble, because the Hawks haven't faced a lot of quarterbacks like that this year. I mean, let's face it, there's more quarterbacks like that than ever, but not every team's got one, man. So Matt Stafford wasn't like that. Matt Stafford was never taken off to run.
Right.
He's an old man, right? So they knew what he was going to do. So that's what concerns me the most about this game is the Patriots, I think, getting into favorable situations on 3rd down and then having the opportunity to let Drake May extend the play with his legs.
It's hard to know how a team's going to handle the Super Bowl spotlight.
Right.
You guys were great on the road this year.
Yeah.
How do you think this team's going to handle the spotlight?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a real problem, man. I mean, both these teams are buttoned up, right? Like I saw Christian Gonzalez, former Oregon DB, who's now obviously with the Patriots, and he was on camera the other day, and he was talking about how much he respects JSN and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, don't do that. like, can you pop off so we can have some entertainment here? Can you run your mouth a little bit so we can kind of get after it like Jeremy Stevens did in Detroit 20 years ago when he went after the bust and Jerome Bettis, and we're going to ruin his homecoming. I remember being on Radio Row in Detroit when Stevens said that, and my eyes closed, my chin dropped. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This idiot. And Holmgren was pissed about that. My God, was he mad. And then during the game, he starts throwing all these seam routes to Jeremy Stevens, wide open, and he's dropping all of them. He couldn't make a catch in that game. So I mean, I like that when it doesn't happen to my team, but Vrabel and McDonald are not like that. That's not how these guys are. They're not going to have their guys talking smack. They're not going to be talking smack. I mean, you may have seen McDonald, Larry, after the NFC Championship when they did the trophy presentation, and Strahan made some comment like, hey, nobody expected you to be here or whatever, and that line from McDonald, he leans into the mic and he says, we did not care. And it was like everything he could do to get those words out of his mouth. Like that was the most smack talk we've even remotely seen from McDonald since he's been here. So I just don't think we're going to have any of that stuff in this game at all or leading up to it.
You know,
they'll be fine.
The Patriots are an interesting team because they are rolling, and their defense is pretty damn good.
Right.
I mean, do you expect a super low-scoring game, like
yes.
you know, like 13-10 or 23-10 or something like that? What do you expect?
I do. I think you got the number one scoring defense in the NFL and a top 5 scoring defense with New England and two teams that don't like to really take chances, right? I mean, Kubiak doesn't take a lot of chances on offense. He doesn't have to. Got the number one scoring defense in the NFL. Kick the ball away. Play D. There's no need to go for it. There's no need to take risks. And I actually thought, Larry, early in the year, even really over the offseason, when they drafted Jalen Milroe, I thought, this is going to be great. This guy's going to be a walking tush-push, 3rd and inches from your own 30-yard line. F it. Go for it. And they're not doing any of that stuff, mostly because Milroe can't hang onto the damn ball, and he hasn't developed into that. He's been basically benched every game since the opener, but they don't do any of that stuff. They just play conservative football. They take shots when shots are there. Darnold's one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL, and they rely on their defense. Same thing with the Patriots, man. They're relying on that defense, and they're relying on smart, sound football. So I love the under 45.5. I've loved it all week long. So I'm not saying bet the farm. I mean, a rich guy like you is making millions of dollars a week. You can afford it. But for these schmucks over here, these producers that are making $10 an hour, put a couple of bucks on the under. You thank me later.
Yeah, I mean, especially Loader over here. I mean, you know, he's financially challenged.
Do you feel bad? Do you feel bad for these guys at all? I mean, why don't you get the guys together, build some camaraderie, have them over for dinner every now and then, you know? Come on, be a mentor.
Now, neighborly in the Bay Area doesn't means we don't have people over for dinner. I mean, that just means you do what you want to do. We do what we want to do. You know, this is not the Pacific Northwest. I'm not making him a peach cobbler, damn it. Anyway, we are going to make him a star on YouTube, though. There we go. Here, we'll turn it on him there. Oh no, it won't turn away from Dave.
Here, can I pick this up?
Actually, probably should.
Like it's going to follow me.
Yeah, it's going to follow you.
Holy crap!
It is going to follow you.
Wow.
Yes.
If I take off walking, will this thing go after me?
Yes, it will. It will. It will.
Scary, man.
All right. Is there an element of what the Patriots do on either side of the ball that kind of scares you?
Yeah, I just think, again, the extra offensive linemen that they like to bring in, I don't know if the Hawks have seen a lot of teams that do that this year. That kind of freaks me out because I think one thing the Hawks have done a really good job of, Larry, is stopping the run and getting home with 4 guys. They don't blitz a lot at all. If you look at their numbers, they're near the bottom of the NFL in blitz rate. Yeah, the Patriots are actually kind of up there in blitz rate, but the Hawks are lower. Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, guys like that, they get home with 4 every single time. And if they have to put an extra guy in the box to defend that extra offensive lineman, which they don't do a lot of, I'm just curious to see how they respond to it. Look, I'm not overly concerned about it, right? I'm not overly concerned about anything in this game. I mean, you worry about the basic stuff, turnovers inside your 20, whatever, Darnold stepping on a player's foot, and like week 18, for example, against you guys down here, he steps on Jalen Sendell's foot, drops the ball, but actually picks it up.
Right.
What if he drops the ball in this game and doesn't pick it up? Right. And New England's got the ball 1st and goal inside our 10-yard line. So So those are the obvious things. Like anybody can say things like that, but the extra offensive lineman, how the Hawks combat that on defense is absolutely one concern for me. And then on the offensive side, I'm more concerned about the Patriot defense than I am the Patriot offense, because I think Mike Vrabel is going to make life miserable for Sam Darnold. I mean, he does not play well under pressure. Like most quarterbacks' numbers drop dramatically, as you know, under pressure. It's just who drops the least. And Sam Darnold's difference between a clean pocket and a dirty pocket is really significant. So if I'm Mike Vrabel, I'm coming after him, Larry, and I'm coming after him from the jump to see how he can handle it. Prove he can handle it before I stop.
What's the is the oblique still an issue at all?
No, that's not been. Did you watch the NFC Championship game, or was it too painful for you?
No, I watched it.
Okay, so you saw that game that Darnold had last Sunday was one of the best games of his career. It was one of the best quarterback games of the year in the NFL against a really good defense. I mean, he's got to play 3rd and 7, 3 minutes to go. Hawks are up. And if he doesn't complete this play, and I was with my wife in the stands, and I turned to my wife, Gina, I said, honey, you're about to see the most important play of Sam Darnold's life. And he converts on 3rd and 7 to Cooper Kupp on a seam route, and he gets the job done. Zips it in there. Because people look at the oblique and they tend to kind of associate that with, well, how far is he throwing the ball? No, it's about how quickly he can get from point A to point B and find a window the size of a donut hole. And he found a window quickly on that play. So the oblique, I don't think it's a real issue. It's probably something that's bugging him, but everybody's got something bugging them, right? It's week 23 in the NFL, for God's sakes. Everybody's got something bothering him. I don't think Darnold's oblique is going to be a problem.
In our lifetime, probably the best coach ever at taking one guy away was Belichick.
Right.
Vrabel played under Belichick. If he's successful in this game at taking away JSN,
right.
is that the all-time equalizer, or does Seattle win anyway?
Not even close. And I'm surprised a man of your stature that has access to the analytics that I have access to would even ask such a silly question.
I've been known to ask silly questions before.
I'm just busting your balls. You know that. Look, man, the Seahawks don't have a lot of depth behind Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's why they went out and got Rashid Shaheed, right? There's a reason why they made that move. We thought they were making the move at the time because Cooper Kupp was hurt. Well, it turns out that Torrey Horton was banged up, and he hasn't played since. He's been on the IR. So that's why they made that move, because they needed some depth at wide receiver. And outside of the one go ball on the first drive of the game against the Rams in the NFC Championship, he actually hasn't done a lot at wide receiver. He's got like 190 yards receiving since he showed up here. His impact has been on special teams. The kick return against you guys, against the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Obviously had the one against you guys to start the game in the playoffs.
95 yards.
That's right. So he's made a much bigger impact on special teams, and I'm actually curious to see how the Patriots handle that. I think that may freak them out a little bit. They're so concerned about Rashid Shaheed. If you can bet on a kickoff going out of bounds, bet on it. Bet on it, because they're going to be so concerned about not kicking the ball to Rashid Shaheed. I could see the Patriots wigging out and sending one out of bounds and giving the Hawks the ball at the 40-yard line. But the JSN thing, back to that for a second, he's got 8 games this year where he was held under 100 yards receiving. You know what their record is in those 8 games? They're 8-0. In those 8 games, okay? So
taking him away has not been the answer.
It's not been the answer at all. It's not been the answer at all for opponents, and you're exactly right. That's what Belichick did. It's what Vrabel probably would try. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Why wouldn't you want to try to take away number 11? But we had a Thursday night game against the Rams where Puka Nacua had like 230 yards receiving, and they lost. They lost because nobody else was getting involved. So you want to double Jackson Smith and Jigba. You want to focus on him. Here comes Kenny Walker slipping out of the backfield. Here comes Cooper Kupp down the seam. Here comes Rashid Shaheed on a fly sweep. They got other weapons, Larry, they can use besides JSN. They might actually be better off using him as more of a decoy in this game than maybe in previous weeks.
The Rams ran for 5 yards a carry. Corum ran for 6 yards a carry.
Right.
I mean, when you watched it again, why was they so successful?
Yeah.
And do you have fear that maybe New England runs for those kind of yardage? I mean, that kind of efficiency, I should say.
I mean, look, the Rams are good, right? I mean, it's like, am I surprised the Rams have a good offense? No. I mean, Sean McVay might be the best offensive mind in the NFL. No disrespect to your guy. Although I don't know how you play the Seahawks twice and score, 9 points in 2 games against the Hawks and still walk away being called the best offensive mind in football.
Dave, I can't promise you your security throughout the duration of this interview.
If you're the best offensive mind in football, the bar is low, for God's sake. So, I don't know. I mean, I like Kyle Shanahan. I just think Mike McDonald kind of owns him right now, right? I mean, that's just, everybody's got their...
Seattle's got better players.
Everybody's got their boogeyman, right? Everybody does. And Shanahan, McDonald, whatever. But am I concerned that the Rams ran the ball? No. I think the Rams might be the best offense the Hawks have seen all year long. I don't know if the Patriots can do what the Rams can do on offense, so that's not a big concern for me. The big concern for me in this game is that somebody's just got to be elite, right? I mean, the Hawk defense has been elite all year long, and when the Hawk defense was not elite, like on that Thursday night game and the NFC Championship game, Sam Darnold was, and that's why they're in the Super Bowl, and that's why the Rams are sitting home watching this thing on TV.
2 last ones. Clint Kubiak is leaving. He's going to be the new head coach of the Raiders.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? And who's the obvious replacement? What's the talk?
Yeah, I'm nervous for Clint. I just don't know if he's got what it takes to be a head coach in the NFL. I think I told you that earlier.
Why is that, you think?
I just don't know if he's got the personality for it and the command. I mean, you've been around a lot of guys in the NFL and in college they're just great assistants, right? They're great assistants. They don't belong in front of a media scrum. They don't belong at a podium. They don't belong, telling a locker room about their culture and follow me anywhere. And, I've got that DNA as a CEO in some ways. I don't know if Clint's got that. The few times I've interacted with Clint on the radio, he's come across as a guy that's better served behind the scenes, right? Just scheming up offenses and pushing buttons and being the Wizard of Oz. I don't know if I see a real commanding presence out of Clint Kubiak. So that's number one. Number two, I think, like you do and like most people do, the Raiders are terrible. I mean, their roster's awful, right? Their offensive line is trash. Maybe the worst offensive line in the NFL. So they're not going to do anything offensively until they fix the offensive line in Vegas. I mean, that's the thing in Seattle is that all of a sudden we have a pretty good offensive line. It's not great. It's not elite. It's not terrible. The offensive line in Seattle had been terrible. Then they go out and they get Gray Zabel with the highest drafted guard they've had since Hutchinson. They find a center in Sundell who was just sitting there doing nothing, and they finally give a shot to, and he's now settled down that spot. So he had a line in Seattle. He doesn't have one right now in Vegas, and I'm worried about Mendoza getting crushed behind a line in Vegas. I'm worried about Clint Kubiak not being able to run his offensive line in Vegas. I mean, for the Seahawks, as far as the offensive coordinator, I got to be honest with you, don't really care. As long as McDonald's here and he runs that defense and they're elite, this football team's going to be winning 12, 13 games a year for a long time. That's how good he is. He might be the best defensive mind on the planet right now.
Last one. The week kicked off with the sale of the Seahawks.
Yes.
And, Paul Allen's no longer with us. His daughter's going to sell it.
Right.
Is that a surprise to you? Or sister?
Yes, sister.
Is it a surprise to you?
No, not at all, because we all knew this was coming. So when Paul Allen passed away, it was in his will that the teams had to be sold. Everything that he owns, from his oceanic exploration companies to his curing cancer water, right, whatever he's got going on, every endeavor that Paul Allen's got, from all of his art, his yachts, everything had to go. Everything. All of it is getting liquidated. Like there's a gigantic team of lawyers that are charged with liquidating all of Paul Allen, billions of dollars of assets, and every penny goes to charity. Every single penny. And that includes the Seahawks, and that includes the Blazers. Everything's got to go. So we knew it was coming. We just didn't know when it was coming. We're kind of curious why it came out this week. There's a thought that maybe Bob Kraft, whose son is on the finance committee, leaked this to the media to cause a little bit of a distraction before the game on Sunday. I don't know about you. I don't see it as a big distraction for the players, and the players will be fine. If a coach is announcing he's taken off when the year's over, that's maybe a different story. But the team selling and somebody else taking over, I don't think affects them. Contracts will be honored by the next regime. I worry about, team presidents, Chuck Arnold. I worry about team employees, things like that, not having a job if a new guy takes over. I worry about a new person effing the whole thing up when they take over. I mean, and Allen has been at the helm of this thing since '97, They've made the playoffs 17 times with 4 Super Bowls and a title before and Allen showed up. They made it 4 times in 20 years. So it's been totally different with Paul Allen and Jody Allen at the helm. So, yeah, that part I'm concerned about. But a distraction for this Sunday, absolutely not. No.
Prediction, final prediction.
27-20 Hawks. Yeah.
27-20 Hawks.
I'm changing my mind on the fly about the over-under, by the way, which is the exact thing I did with you when I was on the air with you in Week 18. I think I told you at the beginning of the interview the Niners were going to win, and then by the time we were done talking, I was convinced the Hawks were going to win, and I was right.
You have been known to be a flip-flopper. You're right. Good to see you, Dave.
All right, bud. You too.
Dave Softy Mahler from KJR. I'm going Pats. Not surprisingly, he likes his Seahawks. More straight ahead. It's Niners Nightly on the Sports Leader.